This is Purnima Devi from SNS City. Now I discussed about one of the type of machine learning process which is supervised learning. This is one type of machine learning which machines are trained using well labeled training data. On the basis of the data, machines predict the output. The labeled data means some input data is already tagged with the correct output. In supervised learning, the training data provided to the machine work as the supervisor that teaches the machine to predict the output correctly. It applies the same concept as student learn in the supervision of teacher. Supervised learning is the process of providing input data as well as correct output data to the machine to learn the data. The aim of supervised learning algorithm is to find a mapping function to map the correct input variable and with the corresponding output. In this real world, the supervised learning can be used in risk assessment, image classification, fraud detection, and spam filtering. In this supervised learning, models are trained using the labeled dataset, where the model learns about each type of data. Once the training process is completed, the model is tested on the basis of test data and then it predicts the output. In this, we see the two type of supervised learning algorithm, that one is regression and then next one is classification. Regression algorithm that which are used if there is a relationship between the input and the output variable. It is used for prediction of continuous variable such as weather forecasting, market trends, etc. Some of the popular regression algorithm which are used in supervised machine learning is linear regression, regression trees, nonlinear regression, Bayesian linear regression, polynomial regression. And then second type is classification. Classification algorithm are used when the output variable is categorical, which means there are two classes such as yes, no, male, female, true, false. For example, in the spam filtering, we classify the variable as random forest, decision tree, logistic regression, and support vector machines. Some advantages of supervised machine learning is it is used, the model can predict the output on the basis of prior experience, that is already developed historical data. The output can be predicted based on the historical data which can be trained by the machines using the input and output variable. In this supervised learning, we can have exact idea about the classes and object. The tester and the developer must know about the input and output which has to be given to the machine to learn. Supervised learning model helps to solve various real world problems such as fraud detection, spam filtering, and etc. In this, we see future selection which is used in machine learning, which are used to select the correct input and output variable which has been given in the historical values. Future selection is the way of selecting subset of relevant futures from the original futures set by removing the redundant, irrelevant, and noisy futures. The data which are can be derived from the input variable based on the historical data which we have already loaded to the machine to predict the values. While developing the machine learning model, only a few variables in the data set are useful for building the model, and the rest futures are either redundant or irrelevant. If the input data set with all these redundant and irrelevant futures, it may negatively impact and reduce the overall performance and accuracy of the model. Hence, it is very important to identify and select most appropriate futures from the data. Future selection is the way of selecting the subset of the most relevant futures from the original futures. While developing the machine learning, only a few variables in the data set are for building the model and the rest futures are there. If the input of the data set with all these redundant irrelevant futures it may negatively impact and reduce the overall performance and accuracy of the model. Future selection is the one of the important concept of machine learning which highly impact the performance of the model. As the machine learning works on the concept of garbage in garbage out. So we always need to input the most appropriate and irrelevant data set to the model in order to get a better result. We discuss different future selection technique for the machine learning, but what it is some it's fully avoid the curse dimensionally, and the future selection is supervised future selection technique and the unsupervised future selection technique. Thank you.